So
What's going on, y'all? We back at it. It's the coach's perspective. We already been talking.
Already.
Been talking. So y'all about to get the BI to the is to the NAS
the
right now.
business.
You about to get that business.
You got it public, right, Coach? You got it public, right?
I'm doing it right now.
Oh man, that was
we gonna
right now.
And then look, they gonna get it raw because we ain't had time to warm up. Really, I just kind of I text y'all at the last minute
it's all good
because Royce already had the flyer made. So it is about love language. We're gonna get a little bit deeper than that, you know.
Basically, what she's saying, ain't no condom for your heart. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, ain't no.
What?
You
going raw.
Hey, raw. Hey, raw. Ain't no condom for it. Ain't no condom for it.
We going raw dog today.
Hey, ain't no condom for it.
Ain't no. Oh my goodness.
we going in today.
We public, y'all. We public.
Hey, let's go. Let's get it.
So please like, share, y'all. Let's get this thing cracking.
I'm about to share this too.
Let's get it.
Cracking, y'all.
Because look, and I'm gonna just reintroduce it.
So she got to.
Yeah. Let's just tap back in. Let me reintroduce this real quick because we've been talking about love languages, which is all cute. You know, a lot of people, you know, they want to talk about the cupcakes and ice cream, but let's talk about the ingredients and let's talk about before it becomes a cake. What we getting into because don't nobody like to. Everybody like to talk about marriage, but we skip over you doing one night stands.
That's why.
How about that?
Aching.
Ooh.
So we gonna skip over.
Hold on. You said doing one night stands. So let me. And I want let's go ahead and put it all out there now.
It's out there.
So how many of us as panelists, coaches have done one night stands?
Oh, come on, man! I put both my hands up.
Okay, I'm just saying.
And wait. When you say one night stand, meaning.
Oh, here we go.
Let's be specific. Let me be specific because men and women have two different things that could be going on. You know.
Okay, Willie.
So look, let's be clear. One night stand means that you just met this person and you don't know them and you have a sexual encounter. You know, it don't even, you know, any type of sexual encounter. So I have never met somebody and had anything beyond a kiss. And we talk about middle school on up as far as a one-time thing. But there has been a situation where we've only had sex once. But it wasn't a one night stand. So go ahead.
Okay, so you want to break it down? So one night stand for men. I can't speak for women because everybody's definition is different.
Absolutely.
Everybody's definition
between sexes. And maybe even between individuals, it could be different.
Yeah. Because when we say one night stand, for me, for my definition is I go somewhere, meet someone, not with the intention to meet you, but just meet you, we vibe, and we end up leaving where we was at, going back to the crib, we smash, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. You get what you want, I get what I want, and I see you when I see you. Like, I don't even got no name. I don't have to, like, we basically did a physical act, helping out each other because, you know, you probably getting out of something. I don't want to know all that. You ain't trying to hear what I got going on. So we were just in the moment to please each other, and then we go about our lives.
I think that was an accurate one. And then sometimes those one nights end up to, you know, friends with benefits.
Facts.
Because it was good.
Facts.
It was good. It's like, you know what, I might want to continue this one night stand.
Not a relationship, friends with benefits.
Not a relationship. But I might want to extend the one night stand to a couple nights.
You call me.
Don't come around here. Don't come around. Yeah. You stay on that side of town. I don't even want to see you on this side of town.
Okay. I want to hear the ladies. Go ahead. The ladies one night rendezvous.
Go ahead, Keisha. I know she driving too, so I don't know if she getting
okay. She might be at a stoplight trying to pull over. That's crazy.
Your mute button going crazy right now. It's like click, 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 clang, clang. There we go. And it could be the service because you're on the actual StreamYard. Don't worry, it's not you. It's StreamYard. Because it's clicking you in, but we can't hear you. But what's up? They said somebody said live from
Okay,
NY.
did it stop?
Yeah, you go. There you go.
There you
Come
go.
on.
Hear me
Come on
now?
with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm where Royce is. I'm not with Whitley when it comes to don't know the name, but I'm where the friends with benefits. We ain't gotta have no extra connections. We just out here doing what we do and we good. And that's about it. But I know your name.
But you might not. You only want to know the name for safety and intensive purposes.
For tracing purposes. For tracing,
Yeah.
for tracing in contact.
Just in case. Because if it's good, you need to know.
Let's be real, y'all.
Yeah.
We putting out in the streets. We putting out. We in these streets right now with y'all. So don't act like you don't know.
Don't act brand new.
Hey,
Please don't
listen,
act
and
brand
just,
new.
Exactly.
and
Don't
just,
act
and just
brand
because
new.
we putting it out there, just because we putting it out there.
That's what we
publicly,
used to be.
Yeah, don't mean that what you do privately. You know what I'm saying? Like some of y'all still do stuff privately. We just putting it out there publicly. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, ain't nobody's no Sister Mary Clarence and all. We're going somewhere with this. So it's not like we just openly talking. And the reason why we brought this up, because like I said, and we've been talking about the love languages, and we get so caught up in all the cupcakes, and we skip over the parts that lead to marriage, meaning our behavior and what type of interactions we're having and what we learn from the interactions we're having. Because like I said, we skip into the marriage, yet some of us are still, like you said, we're in situations. I've been guilty. Obviously, I've been pregnant a couple times, not married. So eventually your secrets don't stay a secret. So for everybody, they don't get caught up in, they actually go through it because we have abortion clinics now, and we have, the Plan B pill. A lot of us have mastered the safety mechanism of being exposed. So everybody's not exposed. Like, just because you don't have kids don't mean you ain't had no abortion. I'm learning that with this generation. Means that just because you don't have kids doesn't mean that you haven't been to a clinic. It doesn't mean that you're not having sex and doing your thing. So we talk about marriage, yet we don't talk about the process and things that we get into prior to. But yet we want to talk about the love part, and we're not talking about lust. One, can you recognize it in yourself? Because there's love, and then there's lust, and then there's vice, and then there's virtue, right? So we've seen both sides of it. That's why we're coaches. Obviously, Willie, you're married. Lakeisha, me and Royce been divorced. Lakeisha, you're married. You have a long, extensive marriage, just like Willie. So we've had variations of different, dynamics to the relationship. So now we have two questions, because we're talking about love languages, but we're talking about awareness too, and being honest about the raw dog truth, right? Raw dog truth. So the question is, men, is the dog, one, do you know what the dog is? Do you know what the master is? Which one is driving your behavior? The dog, because at some point, I'm going to be honest, I read Think Like a Man, Act Like a Lady, and I thought that I was too can play that game, Vivica Fox type. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was doing my thing. But that's the dog driving me. I'm not really the master. So as men, and then I'll go through some of these questions so you can see there's 9 questions that will determine if you're operating as the dog or if you're the master. So, coaches, tell me when you hear the dog, the raw dog, whatever comes to mind. What do you hear when you hear dog mentality and then master mentality? And can you describe that as men? One, describing what it's like to be a dog, and then I'm gonna give you these questions, and then when you notice that you became a master of your dog tendencies, and then me and coach get to ours too.
So the first question was dog tendency, right? What's the difference between a dog and? So I would say the difference for me was just knowing the dog mentality is I didn't have a vision and I didn't know where I was going. I was just doing stuff. So it's like you kind of like your GPS is like you putting it in, but you just happy to just arrive. You're not even, you're not doing it intentional as far as you would when you become, when you master it, you're more detailed. You're more like, okay, this is where I want to go. This is what it's going to take. These are the steps I got to take. But before I take any of those steps, I got to own up to the things I did previous in my dog stage and accept those things to be able to move on. Because I just feel, for me, if I didn't accept those things prior, I wouldn't be able to focus and have intentional direction on where I wanted to go and how I needed to get there by accepting those things first. So for me, I think noticing that dog stage is just okay. Like it's almost like you see these dogs that be chasing cars. Like they know doggone well you can't catch it. Like you just barking at the car because it's a moving object, and now you start chasing it, and you're running after the car, knowing that. I just seen a clip the other day where you had these two dogs that was like the gate was in between them. They just barking, and then as soon as the gate split both of them and got moved away, they stopped barking. And then as soon as the gate closed, they went back barking again. Like, wait a minute, you was doing all that barking, but you ain't. Okay, I see what you in that dog stage. But when you get to that point of level of entry to where it's like, okay, I'm becoming a man, as it say, I learned to put childish things away. So there's some things that I know is childish in my dog stage because I'm able to accept that and recognize the things that I've done and not be in bondage, and actually say those things that I did to other women and people when I was in my dog stage. Because I was like I said, I was that dog. Like I knew, like, oh, you got a biscuit? All right, got it. Oh, you got a treat? All right, got you. So it was just like I understood and I knew that. So I think the difference between that is just accepting to be able to move forward and making it personal. Like I knew that dog stage.
That's good, man. What you got, Royce?
So for me, I'm looking at it as where I'm not considering others. I'm not considering their feelings. I'm not considering the consequences.
Yeah.
I'm not considering. I'm not even fully considering the consequences within the confines of the person that I'm intimate with or whatever, or even the consequences for me. Because there's twofold, it's with the other person and then with yourself, and where, that dog is like, I'm just thinking about what I want in this moment. And I'm thinking about, okay, what's the quickest way to get what I want?
Immediate gratification.
What's the quickest way? What can I say? What can I do to get what I want? And then how I say it. And then the right time to say it. So judging all of those things and then going into it like, okay, I'm going into this situation knowing that I want what I want. Like I'm not even thinking about no long-term nothing. I'm going into this situation like I'm about to get this. So I'm thinking I'm strategizing in my mind. How am I going to get what I want? And that's the dog. And then the other side is, where I think about the consequences. I think about having more value in the other person, and more value in myself, and more value in the foundations or the principles of relationship. And so when I think about those things, and when I think about, I don't want to harm this person, I don't want to be a contributor to their pain. And when I'm thinking about that, and when I'm thinking about everything that they've already gone through, and I say to myself, like, I don't want to be that person that points and gives them another negative picture or negative image of what a man is, what a father is, just a person in general. And when I think about these things, I can be honest, I can be transparent. I can say, okay, hey, listen, this is what I'm about. And this is how we can move forward, or whatever it is. But the dog is like, I want what I want when I want it, and I'm trying to look for ways on how I can get it. Again, and as humans, human nature is follow the least path of resistance and immediate gratification. And when you look at it like that, immediate gratification, the path of least resistance, that's the easiest way, but it's also going to have you have some consequences later on.
That part, that's the part I'm talking about. Like having having the dog is having the value, but you don't care about the consequences. Like when I got, when I got locked up, I didn't care about the consequences, but I knew there was, but I didn't care about it because I was, like you said, I was trying to get that. I was like, what's in it for me? And I'm old. I'm gonna have to. I don't care about the consequences until I get caught.
And you know what, Coach Willie? I think about, and I'll just say for me, if I really thought about the consequences, like really, really, really like pondered the consequences, maybe I would have did things differently. I don't think I really thought of the true ramifications of the pettiness, all the stuff, man. I don't think I really thought that thing through. So if I would have thought that thing through, bruh, really thought it through, I'm like, okay, you know what? Nah, man, you might
whole different outcome.
You might want to chill out on that, bro.
Yeah.
You don't know.
That's the dog. Like you don't really think, because so much is happening. And like I tell a lot of people that, like a lot of kids are not getting what we have now. Like, they're not getting it. Like they're not getting these conversations to where, this person made this decision for me and it wasn't my decision.
Yeah.
It wasn't my decision to go to this school. My mom and dad made me go to this school.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to choose.
Just think about a dog though. And I'm gonna give my perspective, but just think generally, because you two kind of made me think of something. Just generally, when you think of a dog, they say that dogs are consciously two-dimensional, so they can't think third dimension like we can. We can actually think and think about things beyond what is in our immediate. So dogs only think about their survival, their urges, their needs, right? And only way that a dog, and nobody wants an untrained dog. At the end of the day, when you got a nice house, everybody wants a dog though, Willie. I know a lot of people that absolutely want a dog, but why don't everybody have one? Because nobody wants to take the time to train that dog to be more conscious than it naturally is born to be, right? Why? Because one, I may just not know how to train no dog. Let's just be honest. A lot of people think they can train a dog. They really can't. You just being passed down. You think you can beat the dog and punish the dog into obeying you. That is not training. Training is very tactical. It requires patience, and it requires you to have the ability to teach. And I think we underestimate that. So we think automatically all humans, and this is not just men. I'm going to get to my perspective because I have a perspective about dogs. And I also learned that women can be just as doggy style as men. That's what I learned. You know what I'm saying?
True.
From my own friends, or used to be, or what I thought were friends, right? But we got the same nature and we just got two different approaches, right? Just two different approaches. So initially I'll say, one, a dog is not conscious. This is why our kids can't make it. We can't make the connection because kids ain't conscious. And one is we think telling them is good enough instead of teaching. Telling is not teaching. Telling a dog to go sit is not going to help him sit. Telling him to go use the bathroom outside is not going to make him go use the bathroom outside. It's a system and a process to teaching. So I get that part. But I also understand that sometimes it ain't my gift to teach. Right. And a lot of us women think that we can go catch a wild dog and teach it how to be great housebroken dogs. Some dogs are meant to be outside. Some dogs can't live in your little bitty apartment, right? I learned you get this big old dog, you ain't got no yard for the dog to play. So it's just so many elements that go into dog. But I'm thinking consciously right now. But now when I explain dog to me, as far as me stepping back into my woman body, Willie, dog meaning I learned that there's two types of dogs. A noticeable dog that don't care if people recognize that he's a dog because he's accepted it, and that's cool. I respect that dog. However, I've learned that there's dogs that appear to be trained and they know how to pee in corners of your house. You know what I'm saying? You thinking they peeing outside. This is the dog that go eat all your food if you leave it on the table. Like, it's like that's the dog you love, the cute dog, the one you can fit in your purse, but the dog will poop in your purse. And certain things, it's like that dog that it almost surprises me at the same time where I don't recognize that he has dog mentality. And it's because he's the kind of dog that I like. They're cute. This is like the perfect dog. I've always wanted this type of dog. And not that I'm trying to cultivate a trainer. We just talking about logical, and this is me too. Now I'm thinking like a dog. I need this animal to act like I want it to act. And I don't see nothing wrong with how I'm trying to, take care of this dog. I'm gonna get the shock collar, you know what I'm saying? And try to shock him into his own territory so he don't run away from me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just keeping it real because these are the things that I thought of as a young woman. It's like, what do I do? What can I give this dog so many things that he never wants to eat outside of my home that maybe he'll never get hungry when he leaves this place. And maybe he will love my food so much that he will never, ever want to try nobody else's food. It's not realistic. So I start, trying to manipulate the dog. So I became the thing that I despise. I didn't want to be associated with a dog, and yet I became one to tame one. So that's my perspective of the dog. I recognize it in guys first. That's why I start studying men, and then I realized, yo, you a little slick doggy over here. You know what I'm saying?
Man, it's amazing what they call female dogs.
Ain't it? It's a fact.
But
come on, coach.
It's almost like I tried to get my kids a dog 3 times. Paid good money for these dogs because I wanted to be cute and just nice, and I wanted them to have a dog, and I tried 3 times. But what I came to realize is I like the ideal of a dog, but I didn't want a dog. And so the dogs, just like Coach was just saying, you got to train them. It's responsibilities. And so when I think about dogs, I'm not an animal lover either. So for me, when I think about a dog, initially, even trying to get one the first time, I thought dogs were nasty. I'm like, dogs are nasty. They have hair everywhere. They poop everywhere and pee and all that. So for me, I didn't like the nastiness of it. And I like my floors and my carpet and the scent in my home. I didn't want it to smell like a dog. So for me, when we think about dogs, I think about filth and nasty. Like you don't want nobody who got a dog cooking your food and a dog in the kitchen, or something. It's like that's nasty. And so when I think about a dog, I think of nasty, gross stuff. But people kiss their dogs in the mouth because they love them. They do all kinds of stuff to me. But for me personally, I think it's nasty. But then when you think about that, when you're a dog, there's no boundaries. So it'd be okay that the dog can lick his tail and lick your face. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's okay because there's no boundaries. And so when it comes to a dog, I think that there's no boundaries, and they're persistent and they don't care. Dogs to me can be kind of smart and they can be dumb. A dog could chase his tail 100 times non-stop, just keep going in a circle and never gonna catch the tail, but they'll keep doing it. And so for me, I just think that
they're happy. But they're happy.
That's my view of a dog.
But hey, and Coach Lakeisha, man, she really what she you really man, oh man. And we haven't talked about there's different types of dogs, right? You have dogs that shed, dogs that don't shed. You have big dogs, small dogs. You have little Chihuahuas. You have Rottweilers who if you train them correctly, they'll be loyal to you. But then if something happens, they can snap on you real quick. And so when you start getting into types of dogs, and then a lot of us are comfortable with the dogs. We want the dogs. We want the dogs in our bed. We want them in our kitchen. We want them. We want to kiss on the dogs. I mean, and we want to talk about that too, because there are people who want to say like, "Oh no, I want a good man." No, you want a dog.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? So that's an
fire.
Yeah.
Hey, that's thanks. She said, I think AJ said something about food.
So you want a dog. Dogs want dogs.
AJ said something about food, and it dawned on me. You haven't realized, like you said, third dimensional, that when dogs throw up their food, they only eat it because they remember it, how good it was when they was eating it. That's the only reason why they come back and eat it up again. And to us, we'd be like, "Oh, that's nasty." But to them, they was like, "Look, when they went in, this was good. Like the chicken bean rice, like when I ate it, it was good. But when we threw it up, this is like, oh, so they go eat it again because in their minds, they're like, oh, like what I threw up was still good. So I was just like, I thought about that sense because a dog doesn't understand that. Like, hey, like to us, it's like that's nasty, but to them, they was like, I didn't eat it nasty. I didn't eat it how I just seen it came out. I ate it in this wholeness of where it was rice, beans, and all that good stuff. So,
and every dog will have his day, but like you said, Lakeisha, it is so important to know, like you said, Royce, what type of dog, because there's all types of different dogs, and there is a dog for every owner. There is somebody that loves the dog that sheds. Unfortunately, there is a person that loves to kiss the dog in the mouth. No disrespect to that. If you like that, you about that, then that's your thing. But like you said, Lakeisha, it's about what type of dog am I getting? And it's like recognizing, because whether we want it or not, we all have dog in us. That's why I'm bringing this up, because it's not just a certain type of male. It's not just a certain type of female. This is tendency. This is animal nature. So when we say dog, we're referencing the animal nature in individuals and your approach to things and your approach to relationships. It could be sex, all these things. But like I said, we don't want to be cute and just skip over the process that people go through divorce to get to a good marriage, that people go through, end up having kids with other people and it don't work out. And then they have to go back to the drawing board and start over and deal with that. So when we say dog, we're referring to, like you said, knowing the different side, but do I recognize what type of dog I'm dealing with? And do I recognize the dog in me? So here's the question. Because people talk about dating, Royce, Coach Willie, Keisha, we talk about dating. We talk about being single. We talk about we want marriage and we want things to lead a certain way. But is it not? And this is questions that I want the audience to answer to. You're going to know if we're answering as the dog or as the master. Now, you tell me if this is a dog or animal nature, or is this a master's nature? If you are single and sex is your only objective, what is that?
Not necessarily.
Chasing that car.
So what you got, Keisha? You said not necessarily. What you got?
Not necessarily. I mean, I can see how that could be the dog mentality, but if that's your only objective, then you're reaching your goal. So that doesn't mean you're a dog. If that was your only objective, the question said only objective. So you're not a dog if that's the goal.
So look, this is what I'm saying though. But you're operating in animal nature when you say sex is the goal, because now you're talking about simply getting my need met. Is having sex the ultimate goal? If that's your goal, then you may just be looking to eat, and meaning that ultimately you're literally catering to the dog nature, which is the survival nature in you. So would you agree to say that if sex is the goal, is that not a reflection of animal nature as far as your survival, or are you feeling like you just want to get this as it's a task? I need it to survive. Some people say I'm addicted to sex. I need it. Is that not animal nature? Can that be animal nature?
I believe it could be animal nature. Mm-hmm. Maybe. Yeah, I think.
No, I'm not saying that they mean it just like that though either. So I don't want to take this too deep, because like you said, I'm not saying that this person may not know it. It's just like a dog. It's people making money off puppies, but the dog is just having sex. He not thinking about how much these puppies is worth, right?
Right.
So for him, this is just nature of being a dog, right? So I get some people, like when they talk about young people, of course they're just having sex. You know why? Because they don't understand covenant yet. They don't understand intimacy yet. They see intimacy and they think sex is that, but instead they're watching more porn than love stories.
That's right. Yeah.
So now we're driven towards the nature and the animal behavior behind sex versus the real perspective and creation of procreation behind love and union, companionship, or however you want to look at it. So I'm not saying all sex is, because sometimes we get in situations where we're not trying to have sex and we have it. So I can't say that everybody's looking to just fulfill their needs. So that's why I want to make sure this is not, this don't apply to people that know that that's not the only thing they live for. But generally speaking, if sex is your only objective, is the master driving your behavior, is the dog? And that's really the question. So would you all agree that the dog is driving the behavior or the master?
Yeah,
the dog.
Yeah, I would say the dog.
I would say the dog.
The dog for sure.
Yeah.
So I want y'all to answer this one, and then you can give me some context behind this one, because it's not just for single people. This is for people that are pursuing marriage. Now, if somebody decided I'm not going to date a person because they want to wait till marriage to have sex, or they want to wait, it is okay. It says, if single, would you or have you stopped dating a woman because she wanted to wait till have to wait till marriage to have sex? So I'm asking the men this question, you and Royce. This is before you know, Willie, you might got married, you're married now. But have you ever stopped wanting to, and is this dog? And these questions are for us to check ourselves. Are you operating in dog or are you operating as a master? So has this ever happened to you? Did this change? Kind of give us some perspective. So you and Royce can go. Go ahead. Sorry.
For me, for me, I would say it would be the dog in me if I knew that was my goal, like we said. But then when I realized, like, look,
are you operating in dog?
I don't want to put myself in a situation to, like you said, I don't want to get that far and then you be like, oh no, we good. Like, I'm not ready yet. Like, I don't want to have as the kids use the bathroom, boys, they pants all the way down to their ankles, and then you be like, nah, I'm good. Like, nah, like I'm not. It's just knowing me. So it's not that I wouldn't stop dating her, but if I knew that, let's just say she was a virgin. Like, if she was a virgin, I'm like, look, I respect you. I respect you enough to look. I'm not gonna be the dog and chase the fact I'm gonna be your first. I'm gonna respect you and be like, look, where I'm at right now, this ain't what I'm doing. So I'm gonna be like, hey, like, go ahead and do your thing, because if not, I don't want to be that guy to where 10 years from now you be like, man, that dude was my first, and he, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got 4 sisters. I hear the stories. So I didn't want to be that guy. So for me, it was just like, I respect the person enough to know that was their thing. Even though I was in my dog state, I would still be like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. Like, she a poodle. Like, I'm not like, no, I'm not. She a nice poodle. She, you know, she know what she want. But for me, I wouldn't. This is for me. Like I said, I wouldn't take it that far, knowing if we just Netflix and chilling, and then she come on to me, I'm like, oh, this is my time, and then I can do all that stuff, and then she be like, nah, I still want. I'm like, nah, see, I'm not for to keep going back and forth. Like, the blue balls is real. That's all I'm saying. Just, you know.
Yeah.
What you got?
So I mean, I it depends on, again, where I'm at. You know, I'm single, and this person is saying, well, I'm trying to hold off on the sex thing before marriage. I would probably say, I mean, where I'm at now, I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, that makes both of us. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. You know, but maybe earlier on in my
Give us back in the day, Royce. You got, because I'm giving my young people perspective right now. So, because they gonna come in contact with somebody, even us young women, single women. If you're trying to save yourself while you're trying to find the good man, if we come up and say this and a man can't wait or he can, you know, what should we think about that man? And I know it doesn't necessarily mean he's a dog or not, but we need y'all perspective to kind of give us some perspective around when you heard it in your dog days, and now you hearing this as a master and giving women perspective around men not respecting it or respecting it.
So, I mean, let's just keep it real. Sometimes we as men will say, you know what, I'm up for the challenge. I'm up for the challenge in that, okay, I'm gonna try to wait it out. Or maybe she's just saying that she doesn't really mean it.
That's the dog. That's the dog.
Enough.
That's the dog.
That's it.
That's the truth.
That's human, right?
That's the truth. Yeah, that's the truth. We'll wait it out, you know, in hopes that, because it's like, it's gonna be good. I get it, it's gonna be good. It's
going down.
Be nice. It's gonna be nice. So I'll wait it out. And then if the waiting tends to, this okay. All right now. It's another one. Okay, she's serious about this thing. She's serious about it. That's when you start to think, okay, well, you know what? And then sometimes we try to make advances to see if she's really about that life, right?
Yeah.
We make advances to see if she's about that life.
Keep it real.
I mean, that's
because I done told people I'm abstinent or I'm not, I'm celibate, and I never seen the type of aggression where it's like, oh, I'm gonna see if you really, really about that life. So I thank you for being honest.
And at the same time, I think that the women will do the same thing. So I'm talking about me, ROYCE. So no pun
Hey,
intended.
women, come on. Yup, it's women too.
So testing the waters to say, okay, I'm going to continue with this thing because obviously in our mind, this is a good person. They have good values.
Yeah.
This is a person that I could potentially take home to mama, introduce to the family, things like that. So I'm going to see how long I can hold out for. And then if I can hold out and if this is really serious for the other person, then I may tap out and say, you know what, this isn't necessarily working for me. So, and I know the path that you're on, and I feel like right now I'm not necessarily on that path, or I may still, you know, and what I could do too, I'm not this dog, right? I could keep that one because ain't nothing going on with that, right? Ain't going nowhere. Keep that one and go get my stuff from down the street. I can go down to the Quality Dairy. You know, if this Quality Dairy is closed, they got plenty of quality dairies out there. Right. So I go down the street to this Quality Dairy and go ahead and get my donuts. Take care of the sweet tooth, and then still have this one.
That's dog mentality for sure. And we gotta. And I'm glad you're keeping it real because this is what us women gotta learn, that if you decide to openly tell somebody that you're not. You have to stay strong to your values because that's the reality. I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, but I would rather a man, even if he don't, now I'm understanding that. It's like I have to hold true to this regardless. And it is a possibility that he could step out. But at the same token, it's always a possibility that somebody could step out on you. Yep. But I can't change what I'm planning to do. And a lot of us do. We lower our standards. And like you said, you know, you get worn down after so many times. You can say that you're not going to do it, but you know, we human.
No, a man only going to say the word no so many times.
And as a man,
I think
it's a mentality of conquering something, right? We want to conquer this mountain, and sometimes we'll wait, you know, just long enough. We'll do little things here and there. Buy flowers, buy this, buy that, all the right things to say, and doing all the right things to see if we can get that outcome. It's just, and that's just being real. And so as women, you have to recognize that, like what's being genuine and what's the show? You know, what's the dog and pony show here? You know, and patterns of behavior. You know, his tendencies with his phone, all of those things, all that stuff comes into play, you know, and you just want to keep an eye on that. Because again, as humans, we can be selfish. And then she may want to keep him around too.
Oh,
she may want to keep him around. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, well, he's not as bad as so and so. He's not like this, so I'll keep him around.
You're not pushing as much.
Yeah. In the past, I've had guys who were like they were just on it.
That's all.
He's not. Yeah. He's not. So maybe I can keep him around. So you, like you said, Coach AJ, you have to be so firm with those boundaries that. You smell it and like, okay, no, I'm ghost. I'm done.
Right. What you got, Lakeisha? I'm sorry. I know you in the car. What you got?
Yeah, that's okay. I don't know if we supposed to be playing this back for the teams or not, because I'm gonna be the one on the panel who's the complete opposite of everything y'all just said.
Yeah.
Because for me, I've tried to I've been married twice. First one was very short-lived. And now on my 18th year, my second marriage. But the first time I did it that way, the whole, I'm going to wait before I get married. We're going to sustain and do all that. And was quite disappointed on my honeymoon night. So the second time around.
Tell them how you feel.
Wait, straight up. So the second time around, it wasn't no, I'm going to wait until we get married, because I wasn't playing that game no time again. I need to know if this is supposed to be forever, then I got to know what I'm marrying forever. So for me, I don't care what. I will not wait until you get married. But that's just me. I'm talking about Lakeisha. I ain't talking about nobody else. So it ain't been to play for the teams.
Hey,
but at the same
judging?
time,
Ain't
I am
nobody
the complete
judging?
opposite.
So you trying
that.
to see how deep the water is? You want
She got to test drive the car. She got to test drive the car.
See how deep the water is real quick before I jump in this joker. You like, hold on, let me put that toe. Let me see.
We just got to make sure. And I'm
Okay.
always gonna be the one that's gonna be real and raw. So I don't know no other way. I don't know how to be no other way.
Oh, we don't want you no other way, girl. We don't want you no other way. We about to take it a step further though, because like you said, there is no right or wrong answer. Everybody has to find their process. This is not to push people into one perspective. That's why we call this the coach's perspective, because we're giving you authentic views, but you have to choose your own. We just got to put it out there. The goal is to make you aware of these things so you have a deeper choice on what you decide to tolerate, what you decide to manage, or what you decide to step away from or to press through. So ain't no right or wrong answers, because your process is your process. You're going to learn one way or another if it works for you or if it doesn't. So we just trying to help you recognize the dog in you, because this is part of the love languages. I need to know, like, we're recognizing the dog in us, and we've mastered certain areas. And I'm not gonna say all. I am not over here. I say this every week, Sister Mary Clarence, because I'm not. I'm still working on my own things too, but I mastered a great sense of my temptation, so that's why I'm here. A lot of this is mastering persistent temptation and lust, on a high level. A very high level, meaning that nobody has to know and you have to turn it down. So this is us literally doing the things in dark, in the light, bringing them to the light so we can make better choices. So here's just a couple more questions, and coaches, I'm gonna let you pick which one you want to respond to, but I'm gonna read these off for the audience and you get to choose. So once I get done, you can tell me which one sticks out and which one you want to give your perspective to. So one, this is gonna be a good one. Single men, and this is you answering from past or present experience or your personal experience or your clients, whatever. Single, do you, and this is the same question, is the dog or master driving your behavior? So do you regularly have, no, we already did the one night stands. Do you intentionally keep the women you are dating, and this goes for women too, the men you are dating, talking to, from finding out about one another? Is that dog behavior or master behavior? And then married or single, have you ever cheated, or are you currently cheating on your spouse or partner? Is that dog or master behavior? Next question. Do you make excuses for people who lie, harass, and cheat, whether they be married or single? And then the last one. Do you portray an image in front of other people or in front of other people just to be accepted? So any one of those perspectives that stand out to y'all, I would love to get y'all feedback.
I like that last one.
Read the last question again.
Yeah, I like the last one.
The last one was, do you portray an image in front of other people just to be accepted? Is this dog or master mentality? And then give your perspective.
For me, William, you could jump in after, but for me, on that last question, I'm a master. I don't portray myself to be anything but who I am. And so I don't change for anyone. So for me, I would say no. I don't switch it up. I'm gonna be the same all the time.
I'm like Keisha on that one. For me, I think I've done both. I've done both because when you're an athlete, when you have, all the praises and, people know who you are, what you do, and they enjoy seeing, like, when you come off the court, oh, that was a good game. Like, they give you all the praise and accolades and stuff. I know for me, I portrayed to be someone I wasn't because of the sport I played. Nobody got the chance to get to know me. Like, everybody knew of me, but nobody got the chance to know me. So I felt like if I acted this way, people would accept me. I feel like if I acted this way, people would know who I really am. And for me, it just took me down, I was that dog. I was just like, man, I was trying to figure out how to do both at the same time. Like I wanted to be the dog and I wanted to master it, but I couldn't because I was not being myself. And when you're not being yourself, it calls you never to master, that dog. And when I stopped realizing I don't have to be accepted, I knew my worth. I knew, what I'm saying? Like I knew all those things, which over time it helped me. I was like, okay, I don't have to betray myself to fit in with everybody else that, at a point in my life where I feel like I have to fit in. Like everybody over there having a good time. They already got a stigma on me because I'm on the basketball team. So they already think because you're on the team or you talk to this person, you do that, you drink, you smoke, you do what everybody else doing, when I didn't do all that. But yet because I didn't do all that, I felt like I was the outsider. So, I got peer pressured sometimes to try to fit in. I was like, man, I don't feel comfortable doing that. So then after a while, I just mastered it and realized I did both. I portrayed to be somebody I wasn't, but then I realized even though I got more to portray who I wasn't, when I was truthful, I got less, but it felt so much better.
And it's easier too, like, because when you stay your authentic self, it takes the pressure and the weight off of trying to be someone that you're not. And in this situation, like we're talking about, sex before marriage and things like that, I was, in working in the ministry and doing all that, and I was in a leadership role, but I knew that I was engaged to be married. So for me to not portray being someone that I wasn't when I knew what my intentions were and what I was going to do, I actually went to my pastor and told him, like, hey, this is what it is, and this is why I am going to have sex before I get married, and this is and I sat him and the first lady down and told them very simply, because I was like, I don't want to be fake. And so for me, I'm going to tell you the truth, not because you're God, but because I'm in a leadership role. So I'm going to sit myself down so I don't have to pretend to be something that I'm not, or pretend that I'm not doing something that I am. And so that's how I kept it real to myself and took responsibility for it. So it still could have been a dog mentality, but at the same time, I was using my master skills to still be authentic to myself.
Yeah, and to both of your points, sometimes people are dogs because they've been dogged.
That's true.
They've gone through an experience where they've been hurt, and for them, it's now a defense mechanism to be a dog because they've never allowed themselves to heal from what they went through. So that's an important thing. So when I was in part of my doggish tendencies, I was still hurting from the relationship that I was in, where I was told that I looked like a monkey, a greasy monkey. You know what I'm saying? And I was still trying to regain my sense of self and who I was. I did it the wrong way, but that was the fruit of that experience. And so it's important to understand, like, why do I have these tendencies of being a dog? Is it because I'm coming from a hurt place, or am I just being a dog just because I want what I want? And then looking at the whole, dating thing, you don't want to hide if you don't want to hide stuff from people. And this is a thing where it's human nature. We're like never satisfied. There's always someone better. There's always something better. He has something that this person doesn't have. She has something that this person doesn't have. Like, and how can you fully embrace one person when you have all of these other distractions in there?
Right.
It's impossible. Focused efforts get you detailed results. You know what I mean? Again, you want one arrow shot at a time at a target. When you have all these other things going. So if you're date one person, and if that's not going to work, then okay, then move on. But you want to be honest with where you are. I wasn't honest before. I was playing the dozens. You know what I mean? But now, man, no, I ain't got time for that. I don't have time for that. That's not what I want for my life, and that's not what I want. I don't want to portray that to someone else either. You know, so I'm going to give you the real. I'm gonna give you the real. I'm gonna tell you like it is, you know, and accept the situation. And if that's not what you want, then okay, fine. If you're looking for marriage right now, and I'm not looking for marriage, then you find somebody who's looking for marriage.
And that's okay. Like, be okay with that.
Okay.
Like, be okay with that.
I'm not wrong for saying that, and you're not wrong for wanting to be in marriage. So okay, fine. Peace. You know, good. Maybe I can hook you up with somebody who's ready for that.
Thanks.
You know what I'm saying? But the whole like hiding things, man, that hiding stuff, and this is what you want to ask yourself: if the other person were to have my phone, would they stop talking to me after they looked at whatever's in there?
Facts.
Would they stop talking to me? And if they would stop talking to you based on what they saw on your phone, then you might want to chill out. You might want to just go ahead and just do you, and don't add somebody else to the equation. Because fact is, men still have feelings. I'm gonna tell you, men, you do have feelings. Men, you still get hurt. Yes, you do. You still feel some kind of way. So acknowledging that and saying, okay, you know, I need to grow up. Like you said, Coach Willie, you know, when I was a child, I did as a child. You know, I spoke as a child. But when I became a man, I put away those childish things, meaning like, man, I became mature. Like I'm focused now. I have a goal. I have a purpose. And that's what I'm aiming for. And I'm not trying to play no games with you or anybody else.
Hey, you really can't afford to, because you got a whole dog and that you're trying to master, which is your flesh. At the end of the day, you don't have time to play games with other people, because we're trying to master this flesh in this realm, right? So to bring us back around, all those questions, when people go back to the replay, you can go listen to the questions we asked, because those were just for the men.
I posted them too.
Yeah, and I didn't even get to the questions for the women. Me and Lakeisha were just giving our 2 cents, but those questions were directed for the men. I know somebody was like, you asking them a little fast. Go back and watch the replay, because if you answer yes to 2 or more of those questions, that means that the dog may be running your life. That was the whole point of me asking those questions. Now, what type of dog is running your life? That ain't on me to figure out. I don't got to know the breed. You gonna figure that out, okay? So I ain't here to judge the type of dog you got, but we all got a dog in us. So before you start saying I ain't got no dog in me or I'm out of it, go ahead and just check, because you probably, you know, dogs don't think they're dogs either, right? They probably think there's something else. So
there's some comments in there, Coach AJ.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to just get to, let me see. Is it a question?
No, it's not necessarily a question, just a comment.
Okay.
Never mind.
Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this back around real quick. So good intentions are not good enough to tame a dog. Good intentions are not good enough, right? The dog and you just said acknowledgement, Royce. The dog has to accept the dog and learn to master it himself. Nobody else can train this dog. At some point, the dog has to just want to be trained. It wants to listen. Do not deny it. No matter how well your intentions are, the dog still exists in you. Every day, you know, y'all men, we women, people don't care if you married or not. It don't matter. Sometimes that increases people's affection and attention when you are. Right. So that you're not escaping this, especially now in this social media realm, you know, and they telling people you can love who you love. OK, so if a grown person start loving on your child, don't necessarily make it right. Right. So we got to be careful just saying, because now when the dog says, I want to love, things that, you know, may go against that. I ain't going to go into detail, but you know the difference between love and lust. And I think that those 2 words are starting to blend themselves. So we got to know the difference between love and lust, what you want versus what's love, what's satisfying my body versus my spirit. So you have a war there. He says, do not deny it. No matter how well your intentions are, it exists in you. There is a war going on between our higher and lower self, between lust and love, between vice and virtue. So here's a couple tips, and y'all can give me some feedback. We are embarrassed and in denial. A dog will act out if it doesn't get attention and eventually turn into a beast if it's not mastered. This is why it's so important. If you don't master the dog will turn into a beast and it will run your life. Your desires, your flesh, your needs, the things you feel like you have to survive because of whatever you need to compensate your fear of losing, the fear of loss of love, whatever the case of success. And we're not talking about lust for sex. We're talking about lust for anything, money, success, status, whatever the case might be. This thing, if it's not mastered and it's not intended well, can turn into a beast. Okay. And the next thing is the man and woman you are is waging a war against the man and woman you are trying to be. Let me read that one more time. The man and woman you are is waging a war against the man or woman you are trying to be. So that's your battle, right? It's not really lust. It's really your old self, like we just talked about, coaches, versus who you trying to be. Am I going to follow these same desires to have a one-night stand that I did 10 years ago? Am I going to fall into the same? Because the same situation may be presented to you 15 years later. And you're going to know that the dog is not completely gone. You've mastered it or you haven't. So, coaches, that's my closing line. Give me some feedback on that.
Man, just recognizing when you still about you, when it's about just fulfilling your desires, your wants, just be real with that. Don't try to add anyone else to that. Just stick with you. But then when you are ready to say, you know what, I want to add some value to another person's life, and I want to make a partnership, then add that, but yeah, man, short. Yeah, that was, coach. Yeah.
I think
that was
it was really good. I had a great conversation today as well. And I think that, like Coach Royce just said, adding value to someone else's life. I think more importantly, if you don't value your own life, then you can't add value to anyone else's. And so I think that's the key takeaway from our conversation on today. It's just, what you value is where you end up either being in the dog mode or the master's mode according to your values. We discussed things that were back in the day and how we felt and how we were a dog, but now as an adult in these years we have mastered some of those things. And so I think that valuing yourself will definitely be the first thing before you can add value to someone else.
Fire.
Yeah, that's fire. I mean, what you say, like the values, like when you was young, I didn't value a whole lot of things. Even though I was searching, I didn't value a whole lot. Like I was trying to value money. But then I realized like money is a tool. Like it took me over time to realize money is just a tool. There's certain things that it can't buy me. So which means if it can't buy me, I have to do something that, exalts what it can't buy me. So I had to work on myself to be valuable. Like people at your job, they don't pay you for the time, they pay you for your value. But then it's like you should do something about that to where I don't need this job because I'm more valuable than what you can pay me. They didn't teach me that. So I was like, oh, I'm more valuable than that. So once you tap into that to master it, like you say, a lust and love, like lust to me was always a sexual thing. Like nobody broke it down and told me it was, I could be seeking, cars and other things. It was always tied to sex. Like always, it wasn't about nothing else. Just like, well, shoot. If the Bible say if in my eyes, if I already did it and I thought about it, I'm already did it. Like, that's why you got to die to yourself daily. Like, if I just, dang, that was good. Oh, I didn't did it. Oh, Lord, let me go. You know what I'm saying? Like, in my heart, I did, not just with my eyes. So when you talk about lust and love, it's just, I've learned that love is something that is sacrifice and lust is something that you desire. Like, you don't desire to sacrifice. It just happens. It's something that it's like, oh, okay, I'm sacrificing to die and carry my cross to give. That's why God say he loved this world, he gave. So if I'm giving, that's loving, versus if I'm desiring, you really ain't like you said, that dog is driving you. Like I'm giving to get something in return, not giving because this is what I should be doing. So yeah, I took a lot from this today, just knowing that like AJ said, sometimes that dog sometimes still come back up. And it does. Like, we still human. Like, you catch me on a day where I done gave up. My cup ain't filled. You make like, man, the dog might be come back. You know,
it's always
busted challenge. I'd be like, ooh, maybe I should bust it. Like,
and something just came to me, man. And it was the analogy, because we were talking about animals. So you have to realize when you're embracing that dog, you're in the wild. And when you're in the wild, there are other predators out there who can devour you. But when you're ready for a pride, when you're ready for a tribe, that's when, you have someone else's back and they have yours. But when you're out there in the wild, just be prepared for what can come to you because of that. And so, and that's one of the things we don't consider, with the dog and mastering. When you master something, now I want to include other people in that so I can help them master so that we can add value to each other, like you were saying, Coach Willie. But I just wanted to, I thought that was like an analogy as far as being out there in the wilderness, in the wild, and knowing that there are other predators out there who are trying to get you too. Because you're a dog, and there's other dogs, there's other predators out there trying to get you too.
Oh, you better believe
that's
it.
Why we here. I think that's why we are here, to be able to say, hey, like, we only here because we've learned how to master it. So which means you got to put yourself around people that have already mastered it to prepare yourself when it comes. Like, because when it comes, you might not know, it might not happen the way that you may expect it to. So you may not even recognize it because you're not third dimensional. When you have somebody over here like Coach AJ that's probably been there, wore the t-shirt, got all that can say, yeah, I know it's about to happen. And it's funny because as coaches, we see it all the time. Like, somebody come to us
before it happened, bro.
And we tell them, and they be scratching their head like, huh? I don't even talk to coach, and they knew that he and she. We like, look, like just
we know what the whole scene looked like. Yeah. I can tell you what's about. You know how that you get a sense in a movie, like, oh, I know somebody about to die. I know somebody about to get. You can just tell your intuitiveness. That's why, like I said, you don't want to have to go through this and figure this out by trial and error. And you never too old to tap back into this. Like ET just said this morning, he was like, either you gonna be older or better, because some people just getting older. They not getting better. They getting older. You're not getting wiser. You're just saying I'm older than you, but you're not more emotionally mature. Because you're not learning from things. You're still letting the dog, oh, you know what? Since somebody broke my heart, I ain't about to care. I went through that phase. I don't care. I'm going to start acting like they act. That's what I said. When they ain't all men, I can't do that. So it's like constantly learning, okay, don't let the dog drive you, meaning your flesh, meaning how you feel all the time, based on what you think you need and what you want. Like you said, there's a difference. So being able to see lust and acknowledge it, just like you can see love and acknowledge it. Just like we know there's a difference between sex and intimacy. There's a difference between companionship and relationship. There's a difference. So if we don't know, then how can you identify it? How can you identify the dog in yourself? And it's not wrong. Like I said, we have it. It's about how do we use it? Because there's people that have several dogs in their house and you wouldn't know they have dogs. There's no hair everywhere. They're not messing up the house. You know why? There's order. They know exactly what type of dogs they got. They know exactly what type of food they need to feed them to keep them healthy. They're not going to get the cheap dog food. You know how people get dogs, but you don't want to take care of them, right? And it starts with yourself, because how you do some things is how you do everything. So you can't expect to get a Prince Charming when you ain't no princess, queen. Same thing with the king. If you ain't no king and no prince, you ain't gonna find you no queen. You're just not gonna find that.
And oh man.
So stop looking for things that you are not.
Like if
expecting things that you don't give. Okay.
Coach AJ, man, and I gotta say it, like sometimes you want this image of a person or a man who is out there handling his business, but you not handling your business. You're not doing. You sitting on your keister, waiting for the next.
Say mind your business.
You know what I'm saying? You're not handling your business, but you want a man who is.
Mind your business.
You want a handout. You want a man that's going to come take care of you when you're supposed to be taking care of yourself. You got to add something to the pot. If you can't add nothing to the pot, then I'm gonna take my pot somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. That's
Coach
a fact.
Royce, you said that like with so much passion, like you've been through that before.
She like, man, shoot, take care of yourself. I can take care of you. Let me show you.
Because I've been the giver. I've been the giver. I've been the person that's
You still a
always-
giver. Shut up. You still a
No.
giver. You got so much to give. You just need
I'm
to find the right
selective.
person to give it to.
I'm
Hey,
selective giver.
Selective.
Right.
selective. Hey, but the key word in there. You still give.
I'm gonna get you back.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at any
Close it
point
out, AJ.
could get got too. So don't get it twisted. At no point can us
Yeah.
coaches not fall into that. We are literally one decision away from. That's why we make each other stronger by being together. So don't get it twisted. We all are here trying to learn how to continuously because it's the same game. What we just talked about earlier, he was like, it's the same game, different play. Yeah, you know, we same game, different challenge. So it's like every day we wake up, yeah, we playing this game called life, and yes, we are coaches, but guess what? It's a new challenge that presents itself every day. And guess who the players look up to for the play? Not each other. They looking at the coach. Coach, what's the play? You see the defense, they expecting the coach to see something they don't see. You know what I'm saying? So they can just focus on my assignment, my execution. So imagine the coaches, I got to realize what's happening, and I got to know what each player should be doing for success. So, yo, that's all I'm saying, yo. Get you a coach because you don't need to go through this by yourself. Because I definitely got one, and I've been on a coach's call all day today. So, coaches, that's all I got, man. We back on next week. I know Coach Lakeisha gonna be celebrating in nice Florida weather. You know what I'm saying?
With her two piece,
Early
with her one piece
birthday.
on. We have a one piece on too. One piece on. She gonna
But she gonna have a onesie. She gonna have a onesie.
a one
Bring
piece
me
on.
back
But
to
she
saying.
out there.
And I ain't
Doing the
posting
busted
no
challenge.
pictures either.
She gonna be doing the busted challenge.
Hey, don't even look at your phone. Don't you?
Don't
even,
even look
I'm
at it.
not.
don't
Yep,
you
you're
touch
right.
that thing. You better enjoy yourself. Get
Yeah.
that sun. Get that vitamin D, the sun.
Vitamin,
Bring me back some
Make sure you
sand.
say that. Make sure you say that, bro. I got
Bring me
you. I'm
back
with
some
you.
sand from the beach, please. I want some sand from the beach. Bring it back to Michigan, please.
Really
Y'all
caught what I was
cool.
saying.
That's it. That's
Really,
all.
really caught what I was saying. Yeah, you know what
Oh
I'm saying?
man.
I'm
man.
done. I'm
Really
done.
caught
That's
what
it.
I
That's
was
all.
saying. You know,
Oh God.
hey,
We ain't no
you
good.
want the right kind.
Yeah.
Hey,
Be sure.
y'all better get up in the morning, tune into the Coach's Cup. We back at it again at 6 a.m. Coach Willie leading that thing out, man. It's a vibe in the morning. So I'm telling you, get with us. 6 a.m. We back at it. Coaches, it's been a good one. So y'all hit that replay. Make sure y'all share this for sure. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Peace, y'all.